What is up? What is up? What is up, my friends? Today we're going to be doing another Am I the Asshole stream to do just that. We're going to determine who the asshole is. I go through the popular Reddit thread, Am I the Asshole? On Reddit. I think I said Reddit 40 times in that one sentence. I'm crushing it. But I'm super happy and excited to be here to do this. This is a lot of fun. And I hope you're having fun with it too. Yeah. So, as I've mentioned in previous streams, I'm not a doctor, not a therapist. I'm going through these threads, determining, who the asshole is, throwing in my counselor background, a bit of my coaching background, my youth work background, and do that and, analyze what's going on here. Not to diagnose, not to do anything like that. If you ever have any questions, talk to me. Maybe I can help point you in the right direction. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get right down to the nitty-gritty. So, am I the asshole? Oh, and for anybody who's tuned in previous streams, I do apologize for having music on the part where I talk. I realized that was actually loud music and it was sort of hard to hear what was going on or focus. I am new to this whole live streaming game, but yeah. So if you ever have any feedback or anything, let me know. Happy to take it and talk to the board of Jonathans up here and put it into action. So with that out of the way, and that out of the way again, let's get right down to it. Am I the asshole for telling my wife's kid sister I never liked her? I'm 30, my wife is 40, and her sister Alexa is 19. We got married 2 years ago, but we've known each other for a long, long time. My wife's parents live abroad and they have a business there. 11, 12 years ago, they sent Alexa to the US to live with my wife and get her education. My wife is basically her only parent. She does everything for Alexa. I'll be honest, Alexa's a brat who honestly gets on my nerves. It's like she exists to make my wife's life miserable. That was a hard sentence. She's arrogant, rude, entitled, nasty. She constantly broke rules and none of her teachers ever liked her. She refused therapy. I'm amazed at the patience and kindness my wife has because the girl was a nightmare. The second Alexa went to college, we got married. She came home for Thanksgiving, probably skipping classes, and came to me this weekend and confessed her feelings. I treated her so much better than my wife when she was growing up. I tried to be nice to her just because she was my wife's sister. I do things like take her out once in a while to give my wife, then GF a break. When my wife would try to tutor Alexa and she wouldn't even do her work and fail her class, I told her to let it go. I lost it and told her I don't like her. I never liked her, and I was only nice to her because it would make my wife happy. I told her I only put up with her spoiled self to be with my wife, and I was annoyed whenever she intruded. Alexa started sobbing and ran out. I told my wife everything, and she said I was right to turn her down but didn't have to be so harsh. She thanked me for being honest. Her parents are furious. I've gotten a bunch of weird text messages from what I suspect are Alexa's friend. Am I the asshole? Edit. Never do anything because Alexa's literally a kid I've seen grown up. It would be disgusting and immoral. I would have shut her down either way, but I'm asking if I'm the asshole for revealing how I really feel about that brat. I'm guessing things got a little nasty down in the comment section there. But let's look at the main story for what it is first, and then we'll go through the comments. So we have a person who is, now married. Sister comes in from out of abroad, is not nice to anybody. She's skipping class. She's entitled. She's rude. And this guy wants to, build a relationship with his wife. And part of that for him was, having good terms with the sister. Now, he never liked the sister. He was just doing that to be closer to the wife. So, is he the asshole for telling my wife's kid sister that he never liked her? No, not per se. But what I will say is that he could have, maybe been honest with that feeling from the start. But on the other side, people aren't always rude and entitled because they're rude and entitled. Sometimes there's more going on underneath the hood. If she, moved in from another country, had to go to school, listen to her sister, and, maybe if she's struggling at home, usually she's struggling in her friendships and stuff like that. Maybe home was just a safe place to sort of, let it run off. Um, and it sounds like that didn't get too much support either. So I don't think anyone's the asshole here. I feel like there was just a lack of communication in talking about maybe what the real problem was. Um, I see that this confessed her feelings part got kind of tied up in the chat. I think she was just saying that, she was treated well by the husband, better than the wife. Um, and I think that that's fine. Um, I agree. Yeah, I agree with the wife. He didn't have to be so harsh, but good for you for communicating what you need, and maybe there's an opportunity now to have a better friendship with that sister. Um, very, very interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this one open because I want to reply to it later, and let's get right into the next one. Yeah, if you ever have any questions too, I'd love to see it in the chat. Happy to talk about it. Yeah, let's take a look. Okay. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my daughter invite her bio dad to her birthday and threatening to cancel it? I'm a mother of a 16, soon 17 daughter, Kelly. Her bio dad left when she was 4. It's complicated, but despite him being away, he still sent money or had his family help from time to time. I still struggled a lot raising her until I met my now husband, Christopher. Christopher is like a dad to Kelly. He's the only father figure she had. However, I found out she's reconnected with her bio dad through his family, his mother, which I wasn't happy about, but I didn't make a big fuss about it. Then she started mentioning him often, going to visit him while canceling plans to hang out with us. Her justification is that her dad is sick and that it might be, I say might because she's a child and may not know what it meant, terminal. She sees him at a friend's house where he's staying now. Christopher and I were planning her 17th birthday party at our house. Kelly told me that she'd like to have her bio dad come over to celebrate since he may not be able to be around next year. Christopher said no immediately. He said he won't let the man come into his house, which made Kelly cry, saying that they were robbing her of a last chance to make memories with her dad after finally finding him again. I told her that I don't feel comfortable having him come to the house and be in the same room as him. Her stepsister said that both me and Christopher are overreacting and that Kelly wants her dad to take part in her birthday party so badly. Christopher left the house and I snapped at Kelly and threatened to cancel the whole thing. Later, when we calmed down, I suggested she goes to celebrate with him, but she said her friends and their parents won't be able to attend. She also said he can't throw her party since he's sick. We had another argument and she started ignoring me and Christopher while staying in her room. She's saying she won't forgive me if I let her dad miss what could be her last birthday with him. Am I being unreasonable, or is she? Or in other words, keeping with the trend, am I the asshole for refusing to let my daughter invite her bio dad to her birthday and threatening to cancel it? So this is nuanced. Let's take a sip of the coffee. Delicious. Okay, so I don't think, obviously divorce and those kind of family situations are very complicated. I come from that myself. It's not so simple. I think the mom and stepdad have a right to a say about what goes on in their house. They're throwing their daughter a birthday party and she's saying she wants the dad to come. We don't know the relationship the mom has with the dad. I'm guessing it's tense. He left when she was 4 and she had to struggle growing up. So my guess is it's not so simple in that way. But if he is dying, and it's a chance for the daughter to have a positive relationship with the father, why would you take that away? So I don't want to be too quick to call anyone the asshole yet, but as a coach I would ask questions like about that relationship with the bio dad initially. Like, have things changed over the years? Have they been in touch and talked about Kelly's welfare? All of that kind of stuff to sort of fill out the picture. But I agree. I feel like there's an opportunity, if they're not comfortable, to have another party. Maybe you can even be on the same date, like have a mom and stepdad in the morning and a dad in the evening kind of thing, and bring a few friends along. Obviously, if he's terminally ill and, COVID's happening again, like, be careful with that. but I feel like it doesn't need to be so cut and dry in this way. So I think everyone's an asshole here because nobody took the time to communicate and sort of troubleshoot and come up with a plan. If the birthday girl says, I want my father to be at my birthday, and she's 17, like she's old enough to realize, sort of what's going on, I think there's a reasonable case to make something work. So why not? But that said, I'd have all of those questions at the beginning to sort of, figure it out and see what's really going on underneath the hood. Very, very interesting. Let's go into another Am I the Asshole? Again, this is my first time reading any of these. This is my first reaction. And just really how I would read it like a journal. And, respond to it as if these people were like a client. Okay. Am I the asshole for not punishing my child for a simple mistake and kicking my sister out? So I, a 30-year-old female, have a little girl, 6 years old. I grew up in an environment where every mistake was punishable. Dropped ice cream? No more for the rest of the month. Accidentally broke something? Grounded. When I was a child, I swore I wouldn't punish her severely unless it was very big. This reminds me of that scene from Parks and Recreation with Fred Armisen where it's like, over... overcooked fish, go to jail. Undercooked fish, go to jail. Undercooked, overcooked. Yeah, that one cracks me up. So my sister, 34-year-old female, lost her job. So I opened my doors to her and her son, 7 years old. It's been going pretty okay, but I recently noticed, however, whenever her son would make a mistake, he'd act like it was the end of the world. For example, he and my daughter were playing tag in the house and they accidentally knocked over a vase. I heard the crash from my office at home, and when I came, my nephew started bawling and saying he was sorry. I asked him if they were both okay, and I told him that next time, don't run around in the house. He looked at me in confusion before running off when he heard his mother coming. I thought that was really weird, but shrugged it off and cleaned up the mess. So last week I took the kids to my park and my sister tagged along. I bought some ice cream for both of them and watched them while they played. I needed to go to the bathroom, so I asked my sister to please watch the two of them while I was gone. She obliged. I come back and my daughter is crying. Her ice cream is on the ground and my sister is yelling at her while my nephew is also crying. I ask what is wrong and my sister tells me that while running around, despite my sister telling her not to, my daughter dropped her ice cream. My daughter then said that my nephew was chasing her with a worm on a stick, so she was trying to run away from him. I checked up on her to make sure she hadn't hurt herself before exploding on my sister. I yelled, saying that she had no right to yell at my child while she was making sure my daughter didn't grow up to be the brat, seeing as I don't punish her. I told her I make sure my daughter learns from her mistakes and only discipline her if it's warranted. I then told her to leave my house, to which she did the very next day. Now I'm getting messages from my family asking me how I could turn my sister away and her son when they had nowhere else to go, and I'm heartless. I feel really bad since her son did nothing wrong, so am I the asshole? Damn, this is a good one. Okay, so punishment is a very interesting thing in parenting, or like this is coming from my experience as a youth worker. Like, punishment's almost never a good idea. Like, very, very, it's just not, actually. Like, instead you should reward good behavior. So I actually agree with original poster. Yeah, obviously if you grew up in that kind of environment and you wanted to see something different with your children, go for it. But the question is not about punishing. The question is for kicking her sister out, I really think. I don't think it's a two-part. Am I the asshole for not punishing my child for a simple mistake and also kicking out my sister? Definitely not the asshole for not punishing your child. You're doing a great job, actually. Kids are running around on a playground with ice cream. Obviously, ice cream is going to be dropped. That's a natural consequence. Next time, eat ice cream first and then go play, or vice versa. Fine. For kicking your sister out, though, this is interesting. So I would want to know why the sister had to move in to begin with. There's no real clear... she lost her job. Maybe there's a reason why she lost her job. There's usually other things going on underneath the hood. Maybe it's just her and her son. Maybe there was recently a separation, lost her job, and now needs a place to stay. And it makes sense that things would be heightened. And for me, I would want to create a structure where, that's a great time to talk to your sister about, hey, in my house, this is how we do things. And, I want to, you can, discipline your son as you see fit, and I can discipline my daughter. I don't need to co-parent with you. And you could sort of set it up in that way. I think that's more than reasonable. So I don't think you're the asshole per se, but, there's always room for a good conversation. It shouldn't always just be a fight and then like, get the fuck out of my house kind of deal, in my opinion. Let's take a look at some of these comments. I'm curious. Not the asshole. You're doing right by your girl and you're breaking the cycle of abuse, which I can personally attest to is extremely difficult to do. Your sister, on the other hand, is continuing this cycle, and her poor wee guy sounds terrified of her. Yes. Very, very interesting. Well, amazing. Let's answer a Quora question, and then we'll call it a day, my friends. This has been a lot of fun, and I appreciate that you're checking it out. So every day we go through a few Am I the Asshole threads. We check out Quora. We answer the questions. Again, if you're just tuning in now, I apologize for the past few threads where I had music playing. I didn't think it was loud. My mixer over here makes it seem like it was not loud compared. But I took a listen yesterday, and it was very hard to hear and focus and have a good time. So lesson learned on that one. So we're going to end off our day with a Quora question. This is a good one. Are there any herbal teas that help with anxiety? Yeah, so, okay, couple things here. One, obviously, if you have anxiety or you're struggling with anxiety, caffeine can have adverse effects. So sticking to herbal tea is probably a good call. Adverse effects could look like anything negative that happens in your body that you feel when you have anxiety, plus caffeine. Things like extra shakiness, sweating in minus 30-degree weather, tunnel vision, irritability, that kind of thing. So herbal teas obviously are the play here. But with that said, this is very much a naturopathic sort of thing. I wouldn't say it's clear from research that the best way to handle anxiety is a good blend of a medication regime and a good blend of therapy, like plain and simple. I think I learned in school, and this is not a medical school, this is from my medical-ish kind of classes when I was becoming a youth worker. But an example would be, I think medication is 40% effective, therapy is like 35% effective, but together they're like 90% effective in treating anxiety. So tea might feel nice, it might be calming, if your breath is really fast and you have to, blow on your tea to cool it down or drink really slowly, it forces you to breathe. And, those plants too, like chamomile, could be lavender, could be very, very calming in that way. I'm not sure how much research there is to support that though. So I wouldn't say herbal teas cure or are meant to work with anxiety, but they can certainly, be calming and feel good and nice, and that's a good thing to do. So take that with a grain of tea. Let's do one more. What can I do to, yeah, sure. What can I do to deal with my anxiety? Let's go for the general one. So, as I said before, a good blend of therapy and medication is usually the goal. Again, not as a medical professional, but as a youth worker who's worked in some places where this is talked about and taken courses, that's kind of the gold standard, CBT plus meds. And then you slowly wean yourself off the meds with the help of your doctor and a great team. Now, with that said, what can you do at home, to handle your anxiety? And for me, prevention is always the best intervention. So let's say, we'll take me as an example. I have social anxiety. And I know that going out and going on the subway or dealing with people or having a day with a lot of meetings, those days send me down a terrible path. Unless I take breaks, unless I set myself up for success. So generally what I do is I'll take longer to warm up in the morning, drink my coffee out of a mug before even coming close to my computer. Listen to some music. I might get a workout in. Get all of the angsty, anxiety, whirlpool of feelings. Get that to cool down a bit before having those meetings or before going out on the town, that kind of thing. Then during, I might, if a friend is there, I might say, hey, I might need to take a break. You want to come for a walk with me? And then at the end, I'll journal about it. Track my ABCs, my antecedents, behaviors, and consequences. See what happened before, during, and after, and if there's a pattern and if I can improve it. And then now I'm working with a coach, but historically I've worked with therapists as well. And I'd bring that to them and talk about how I can better handle it. And maybe if there's like a deeper feeling going on that's sort of triggering it. Lots of things you can do. Working out can be great, journaling, music, talking to non-professional supports like families and friends, and professional supports too, coaches, counselors, therapists. Everybody will have their own way, but even just talking about it is, really 90% of the battle here. Everybody, want to thank you so much for taking the time to tune in to our, what is it today, Tuesday morning stream. If you or anyone you know is in need of some good old coaching, I run a service called the Journal That Talks Back. We offer affordable and unlimited accessible coaching. You can book an intake call with me. That's free. We'll chat. I'll either match you with one of our coaches or I'll point you in a direction of a service that might be a better fit for you. We're going to be doing this stream every weekday. If you like it, come on in. Like, subscribe, do whatever people do for live streaming. And until tomorrow, I'll see you on the flippity flop, my friends. Have a great day.